She worked hard for the money. So for the money. Hello, so for today's video we're going to be doing an inspired makeup by Beatriz. So I love this. So basically she replied to someone on Twitter and they were like, how's your skin so flawless? And she was like, a lot of makeup and good lighting. And I was like, I do like a lot of makeup. So this is going to be how to get really flawless skin even without all the lights and stuff like that. So obviously you can see that I've got a lot of acne going on today. So obviously we're going to cover it and we're going to show you how to get a really flawless base, and obviously show you how we get that nice brown. It's like it's a proper, I call it old school glam. Like, I love that sort of look. So yeah, obviously that's what we're going to do today. So first step is really important. Obviously this is probably already known, but skin prep. So make sure you're using a cleanser, a toner and a moisturiser before putting any makeup on the skin. So the cleanser I used was the Dermalogica Ultra Calming Cleanser. Toner I haven't been using because this is why this is like this. So but I usually would use the Dermalogica is it the multi-active toner, and then I use Dermalogica Calm Water Gel. Obviously if it's a really special occasion that you're doing, then you can go in with the sheet mask. I love a sheet mask. I think it's absolutely great before any of this, but obviously it's not necessary in every single time like you go out. Obviously it's just like if it's a really special event, then I would go ahead and use a sheet mask. I love the Garnier ones. I think they're fantastic. All of them I absolutely love, especially like the firming ones. Beauty Pro do one that's really good. It's like a firming one. Yeah, but just basically any sheet mask that you love. So moving on to eyebrows. So I've already used the Benefit Browvo Conditioning Primer. So what I've done was I just ran it through the brow and then I let it dry before I go in with any products. Her eyebrows, obviously she's got like a little slit in this one, which I'm not going to do. I've got a feeling either she's cut it or she don't have brow hair, I'm not too sure. But she has quite filled in brows, so probably a pomade or something. But the thing that I've been loving is the Glossier Brow Flick. So this is going to be absolutely perfect for this kind of thing because it's going to really fill in the brows really well. So I'll just take the Anastasia number 12 brush and I'll just flick through the brows first so we can really get a look at what we're doing. So then I just like to take the pen. Obviously you want to make sure you shake it well first before you use it. And then we're just going to gently flick through the brows. If you want it to be like really extra, I love like a brow wiz. So like a brow pencil, and then I'll go in with a pomade just to really define it. But I feel like this sort of does it all in one. It might make the brows a little bit more fluffy, and hers aren't exactly fluffy. They're quite sleek. So I will try and attempt that today. So then what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of Glossier. So this is the Boy Brow in the shade brown as well. I don't think I said what the colour was for the brow flick, but it's in brown. And I'm just going to brush this through. I am going to keep it not so flick through but more down. Like I said, because obviously she's got really sleek brows. Then I'm just going to take my spoolie and just sort of brush the hair down. Brush the hair about a little bit. Okay, so for eyebrows, it looks like she hasn't got much of a highlight, very much like a matte white highlighter, or maybe it's been cleaned up with concealer, but I don't personally like to do that. So I'm going to take the Dose of Colour Baked Brown palette. So I'm going to take this shade here, which is Tea Light, and this is like the perfect little matte white, and we're going to use this palette as well for the eyes today. So I'm just going to take that on a Crown Brush C510, and I'm just going to put this right underneath the brow bone. I'm going to take it just a little bit closer to the front as well. I personally don't, but it looks like she has this highlight going all the way through, and because it's matte I'm not really that bothered. So I've just stuck a little bit of tape down because obviously we're going to do a wing, so I like tape. I think it's the most beautiful thing ever to use. So for eyeshadow primer, this is actually a concealer. So this is the Revolution Pro Full Cover Camouflage Concealer in C2. So this is perfect for getting a really nice crisp base. Yeah, and it's super inexpensive. It cost me like £5, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and use today. You need the tiniest amount. It is very full coverage. So I'm just, to blend that out, I'm going to take the Crown Brush Duo Fibre blending brush. So I'm just going to take this nice flat side first, just to blend that all out. Okay, so to start off, it doesn't look like she has much in the transition, a very light wash of colour. So I'm going to take this shade right here, which is Deserted. And I'm going to take a very light hand with this because these eyeshadows are really, really pigmented. And obviously it looks like she has this really pretty light wash of colour just going all through the crease. So I don't want anything too heavy. Obviously we can add more if we need to, but I don't want to go in and extend too much. So I'm going to take that on the Spectrum B06 and just run that all through the crease. Then I'm just going to further blend it out. Obviously there's not much pigment, but I just want to make sure it is nice and blended. So it looks like she's got quite a lot of definition in the outer corner, which really opens her eye up a little bit. So I'm going to take this shade here, which is Outdoorsy, and then obviously the one that we took in the crease as well, just because I feel like this one might be a little bit too dark, but if we add a little bit of this it can lighten it. So I'm going to take that on a Crown Brush C11, tap off the excess. These are really powdery shadows by the way, but so just be careful. So I'm just going to take that on the outer corner, take it high up to the crease as well. Basically we're going to take this, not even, I wouldn't say halfway in, I say a third in. I'm just going to take a little bit more of Deserted. Then I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. So this is a blush tri brush. They come in a set, but obviously any brush sort of like this is a pencil brush, but it's like really fluffy. So any brush like this will do. And I'm just going to blend it out just a little bit. Obviously we're going to go and pack colour on and then we want to blend some more, but blending's key. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this darker shade in the palette, which is called Rock Bottom. I'm literally just going to be like, boop, because I just want the tiniest amount like here, because it looks quite dark there. It looks like a very nice transition sort of fade effect. So I've just packed that on and then just blending it out into the other colours. Then to finish it off we're going to go back into Tea Light, and I'm going to take that on a Spectrum A16. It's a nice flat brush. I'm really going to pack this on because I really want a nice highlighted lid, and obviously the concealer primer thing that we put down is really going to add to that as well. Then we're just going to take this tiny brush tri brush again and just make sure everything's nice and blended. We want it to look not choppy. Okay, so we are going to add eyeliner. So I'm going to take the Positions Formula Eye Booster. So they also have this in waterproof now, which I don't have. Didn't realise they started doing in waterproof, and of course I bought this one. But this is still really, really good. It hasn't run on me or anything, but if you do get quite watery eyes, then, you know, go ahead and go for a waterproof. So in the picture, it looks like she kind of has like this really nice baby wing going on. It's super black, super intense, which I feel like this is going to achieve that really dark look. So it is a very sort of thin line. There's not much going out, like it's not a proper thick cat line. So I will try and stay on camera for this. I'm like really, the mirror's here in my face when I do eyeliner. So yeah, we're going to give it a go. So I'm surprised I got a very small wing. Usually my eyeliners are out here by now. But yeah, I quite like this little wing look. So I'm going to take the Model Co. This is a glide on pencil thing. It's worn off, like I love this. So this is obviously in black. So first of all I'm just going to tight line the upper water line. So I am going to go in with mascara and lashes now. I find like if you struggle with lashes, then the best way is to apply them before foundation, because I feel like I pull up my eyes a lot, especially because they're hooded. I have a lot of trouble with that. So I am going to do that off camera quickly. So for mascara, I'm going to take the L'Oreal Double Extension Waterproof. I love this mascara. Obviously you can use any mascara you ever want. And then for lashes, because in the photo it looks like they're quite tiny at the front and then quite winged out. So for those, I've got the Lilly lashes. So these are in the style J Makeup, and they have that very similar effect where they're short at the front and then they go out. Kiss just come up with a beautiful collection of like 3D cruelty-free mink lashes. And I think I picked up a pair that are very like short and then out. I think they're called Veil maybe. So obviously if you wanted a drugstore option, then they're beautiful. I think they're like £7 versus like 30 quid. So yeah, I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, so we're going to move back onto the eyes later. So now we're going to move on to face. By the way, if you're wondering why my hair looks like this, it's because I'm going out somewhere and I just walk around with half pinned curls. So for primer today, I'm going to take the Cover FX Grip and Primer. I absolutely love this because it's a really nice sticky base. I'm not a big fan of primers, I think they're a bit meh, but I like how this one sort of adds to my other foundations. It sort of makes me look really sort of a little bit more flawless, I'd say, which I find like a lot of serum primers would do. So if you don't like something like this, then try a serum primer because they're fantastic. I love the Nip and Fab one and it is super affordable. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just place this all along the face. I will do my chin after. I don't really want to touch my chin and then start touching my face. And then for foundation today, I'm going to take the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundations. This makes my skin look flawless, like flawless in photos, in daylight, in ring lights. It looks good. Like, this is a good foundation. Another one that I find that makes my skin really flawless is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation, and they've just come out with like 40 shades, which is amazing. But we're going to use this one today just because it's got a little bit more coverage and is a little bit more flawless. So I have got a tiny bit of self tanner on, so I do mixed shades. So I have Porcelain and Golden, but I'm going to take mostly Porcelain today and then like a dabble of Golden. So I'm just going to draw this on the face. I'm going to put just a dabble here. I'm not going to put it on the spots because obviously it's a stick, which obviously I don't want to just like wipe bacteria all over my stick foundation. Then, like I said, just a little bit golden, so I feel like that's enough. So to blend it out, I'm just going to take the Clarisonic. This is super fast and super easy. You can use whatever the hell you want to use. I like a beauty blender. Most people prefer a brush with this foundation. You do you. Right, going ahead and doing this. And for concealer today, I'm going to mix 2 shades, just because I'm bougie and I... So for concealer today, I'm going to take the Cover FX Power Play Concealer. So I do have 2 shades. So I'm going to take N Light 1, which would be for my more tan shade. And then I'm going to take a little dabble of N Fair 2 as well, just to really brighten up the under eyes. Just because I've got a lot of darkness and stuff and I need to hide some of that. This concealer is amazing, by the way. I absolutely love this. I love it more than the Tarte Shape Tape. I think this outranks that by much. So I'm going to take N Fair 1 Fair. I'm going to take N Light 1 first. So just like to take a few dots. So I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute before I go ahead and blend it out. So she does look pretty warm in the photo. I'd say more bronzer than it is contour. But I'm going to add just a tiny bit of contour just to warm it up a little bit more. So I'm going to take the Rimmel Instant Duo Contour Stick. I freaking love this thing. It's beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just going to take a bit on the forehead and then around the cheeks. It does look like she's got a little bit of definition on her nose. So I'm just going to take the JD Wadey 182 brush and add just a little bit on the nose. And to blend out the contour, I'm going to go back in with the Clarisonic. So now I'm just going to take a mini Real Technique sponge and just start blending this out. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of N Fair 2 and mainly keep that right up in here. So now we're just going to let that dry for a minute and then just go ahead and blend it out. I do recommend watching Jackie's concealer video. She knows more than I do. But I like waiting just like a minute or 2 before I go ahead and blend it out. Blend it out with the little same sponge. So for a little bit more concealer, this is the Hourglass Veil Retouching Fluid. This just adds a little bit of luminosity to me. It doesn't look so dry under there and stuff. I mean, this doesn't make me look dry, but this just amps it up a little bit more, just to give me that really nice flawless under eye that obviously we all want. So I just take a little bit on the inner corners. I don't wait for this to dry, and then I'll just take my finger and I'll just pat it out. So to conceal and set. So to set where we put the concealer down, I'm just going to take the Hourglass. This is the Ambient Lightening Powder in Dim Light. So I'm just going to take that on the concealer part, so the eyes, the nose and the forehead, because around the rest of the face she looks pretty matte. I wouldn't say overly matte, but I wouldn't say anywhere near dewy. So yeah, we're going to take this on those places. This is going to keep it really nice and bright and just add like a little bit of luminosity again, which she does look quite nice and bright there. So yeah, I'm going to take that on a Crown Brush C530. Now to set the entire face, I'm going to take the Beauty Bakerie Flower. So this is Better Not Bitter. And this is translucent. Obviously you can pick up a few of these shades. I think they have like yellow, they have pink, they have orange. They have a bunch of shades now. Obviously translucent is generally for sort of everyone. So I'm just going to take that on an Elf stippling brush. And this is just going to make me, not overly matte, but sort of set it in place and obviously make me look quite flawless. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And when I do it, I don't like to dab it in, I like to swirl it around. So this is like a duo fibre blending brush, so it's got less bristles, so you're going to pick up less product, it's going to be less harsh. So for bronzer today, I'm going to take the Elcie bronzer. So this is in light, and I'm going to take that on a Spectrum C07. I'm just going to bronze up the face. She has got quite a nice bronze going on, typically in the temple and the cheek area. The nose definitely does look defined, but I'd say it's more contour, less bronzer. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the places. A similar product to this is the BH Cosmetics bronzer. I think I use Golden Girl. It's like got a gold lid. It's beautiful, like it really reminds me so much of this. So in the photo, it doesn't look like she's got beaming glow, but it looks like a very wet, very dewy glow, which is delicious. So basically, I'm going to take the other side of the Rimmel Duo Contour Stick. So this is the highlighter side, and this is perfect for this kind of look. It is where it is dewy, it is beautiful. I have no issues. I know I put powder on already, but I have no issues putting this on top of powder. It doesn't bunch up, it doesn't go funny. But obviously if you're a bit weary, then don't do that first. It does look like she's got a little bit on the nose, but it also looks like the ring light's bouncing off of it. But we're going to add a little bit anyway because I like a little bit of nose highlight. So I'm just going to add a little bit here. Just pat it out with my finger. And then it looks like she has a bit here as well. I'm just going to apply it to the tops of the cheeks. Now for blush today, it looks like she had this sort of peachy pink blush going on. So I'm going to take the Milani Luminoso, so this is the baked powder blush. And I'm just going to take that on a Spectrum A05 and just flush up the cheeks. So we're going to move back onto eyes, and I've just lost like 4 brushes. So for the eyes, it doesn't look like she's got much on the lower lash line that I can see of. So I'm going to take just a little itty bitty bit of these 2 shades. So that was Desert and Outdoorsy. Just going to take that on the little blush tri brush. I'm going to keep it quite close to the lash line because it looks like it is quite close. And then for eyeliner, she's got like more or less I'd say more or less a half of eyeliner on the inner waterline. So I'm going to go back into that Model Co one that we used and just do that. God, I can't remember the last time I put black on my waterline. Actually don't look that bad. I used to think it really closes my eyes off, but just part way, quite like it. So I'm just going to hit up the lower lashes with mascara. So this is the same L'Oreal one. So it does look like she's got a tiny bit of inner corner highlight going on, just like seems to be in this region. So I'm going to go back into the Rimmel stick. I just made sure all the powder was off the brush. I just used the little colour switch thing. This is great, I love this. So I'm just going to a little bit of that, more or less like here on the inner corner. So I'm just going to use some setting spray. So I have the Pixie Glow Mist here, which I have to give a really good shake. Like I said, it doesn't look like she's got much of a glow, but this just, it doesn't really add much of a glow. It just adds this nice sort of hydration to the skin, which obviously we want because we put a lot of powders on and stuff. So I'm just going to spray that on. Then I'm just going to take the Decay All Nighter Pollution Protection Setting Spray. I freaking love this stuff. So for lips today, obviously her lip liner is a lot darker than her actual lip colour. So I'm going to take the Milani Colour Statement Lip Liner. So this is in the shade 04 All Natural. So I'm just going to line the lips with this. And then for lipstick today, I'm going to take the Hourglass. This is the Ultra Slim Definer something lipstick or other. It's a really long name. So this is in shade I Wish. Okay, so this is the completed makeup look. I love how it turned out. I feel like I've got it really spot on with the lips, I'm not going to lie. I'm impressed with myself. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.